There are big advantages, I think, to being a woman on Wall Street.
There is no other advocate. You are in charge of your life.
Hey, look at her. She's a success on Wall Street.
If Barnes & Noble is going to lose, who is eating their lunch?
Well, I think Amazon's eating their lunch. I think Apple is eating their lunch. And I think the consumer wins. You know what? Market share doesn't get you where you need to go when you have a bricks and mortar business that's shrinking. Barnes & Noble, I read your proxy, which included your investor presentation. And I got to tell you, the numbers that you have come up with for 2014 look absolutely ridiculous to me. Using Barnes & Noble's math, I did my own assumptions. Here's what I'm going to look like in 2014 using those same assumptions.
Using your sexuality and talking about the way you dress, is there an explanation to this?
There is absolutely an explanation. It is certainly not.
Because I was getting angry. Okay, good.
It is certainly not that. It's that, look, you're a woman in the workplace. It is different than being a man.
That's right.
We all know that. It is different. So you need to put a little effort into it, I think, and not try to dress like a man, be like a man, and pretend you're a man.
What are our tools that we're supposed to use regarding sexuality? Because my perception is that sometimes using your sexuality leads you right into human resources office.
Women, when I talk about them having assets that we can use, I give the example, when I first started in the hedge fund business, they'll give you different industries to cover. And if you cover the retail industry, then a lot of other women cover the retail industry. But if you look at some other industries, energy, industrials, things like that, there are very few women. So when you go to a conference for industrial company, you can imagine how
It's
exciting
a good way to
that
meet
is.
guys. Go to an industrial conference.
I know, but these CEOs, what CEO out there from a Midwestern industrial company wouldn't be delighted to have a girl who wants to hear his every word?
What about girls who come in with mini skirts and, are just walking around sexualizing the entire office? What happens to those women?
Well, one of them I talk about in my book, she had, I said she went too far, and actually her skirt was not far enough at all, and I made her go home and change.
Women themselves are the biggest obstacles that we face. What do you mean by that?
Oh, it's a few different ways. I think often women are uncomfortable with the idea of being ambitious, and I think women often are not their own best champion. Does it matter to you what job you have to have your economic voice heard? I mean, let's say Ben Bernanke decides he's going to go up and fly helicopters.
I'm just not going to go there. I like what I'm doing. My view is if the president asks me to do something in which I think I can make a contribution, the right approach to it is to say yes.
What would be your advice to this new generation of women?
For me, what I was trying to give advice was about staying out of your own way or getting out of your own way, and I think sometimes women aren't their best advocate, and they need to be. They are in charge now. No one else is in charge. You've gone through your life through college, maybe with a plan and a roadmap, and there's no clear roadmap anymore. So they have to be in charge. They have to speak up for themselves. They have to take some risks.
Let's put a little word association. Sheryl Sandberg.
Powerful.
Paul Tudor Jones, trader who said women couldn't really be the equal of men as traders in a certain narrow context.
Candid. I would say misguided.
I'm a little annoyed here by Karen. You just said I've been embarrassed for 12%. You know what? You want to turn the TV on. You want to open up the financial press. You're going to have people telling you to buy every dip. And so I'm not in the business of picking out long-term S&P.
But you just said at 4.5, if you've done that for 4 years, you would have done very well to buy the dip for the last 4 years.
People who
so
watch
for
the show,
2
they turn
days
it
you're
on,
right, and all of a sudden you're 100% certain what the market's going to do?
I am not right for 2 years.
I am not going to be able to pick the bottom. That's great if you think you can. So if I can buy companies that I understand their business, that have fundamental cash flow, priced attractively, am I going to pick the bottom? Absolutely not. But in the long term, I'm going to be happy to own it here. I really think I am.
Our own Karen Finerman delves deeper into the matter in her new book, Finerman's Rules. She also did some on-the-ground research by recently interviewing powerful women from a wide array of industries.
Do you think of yourself as a woman in business or a person in business?
I think of myself as a person in business. I'm navigating, a circle of men at all times, and I have a tendency to kind of jump right in head first. And I don't know how they view me specifically, but I certainly feel that I hold my own.
For us women who on average, live longer than the guys. We better be redefining success along the way, because otherwise it's going to be a long, sort of boring life.
I know you're married and have children. Was that a big consideration, where they would fit into this career that you have?
I was very surprised by the time I had my second child at how much it impacted my career. I do think the one thing that women don't talk enough about is that actually the higher you go, especially in corporate America, I think the easier it is.
If I were in your shoes and a comedian and had all the accolades you did and wasn't getting paid the same as a man?
It kills me to not be getting paid as much as my male counterparts. It drives me insane. That's why if I hear one more woman say there's no more sexism, I'm gonna gently correct them, because we really are so far from equality in this industry, especially stand-up comedy. I don't know what these crazy bitches are thinking.
Karen, there's no possible way that sales of the Nook will really take off and help her reach that.
Is there a possible way? Sure. Is there a possibility that I look like that? Yeah, I can't rule it out, but I'm highly certain that that's not going to happen. I see my kids very briefly in the morning, and then from 6:30 to 10.
Is that enough for you to see them?
Some nights it's more than enough.